Hello my friends and welcome back to Coffee Tea Paper. My name is Louise, and if you're new to my channel, I just want to say hello, welcome, and I hope you're here because you enjoy journals and paper and pens and ink and stationery and all those small things in life that make some of us very, very happy. Today I am sharing with you two journal spreads because I have been getting a bit behind. For someone who's been supposedly at home resting, I seem to have created a lot of busy work for myself. Now, some of that is exciting news, so I am looking forward to sharing that with you, but it's kind of ironic in a way that I have been so busy when I shouldn't have been. I should have been living a very quiet life for the last few weeks following a bit of surgery on my shoulder and knee. Now I'm just running into a bit of trouble here. I am rather annoyed with these Muji glue sticks. I purchased one a number of years ago in Singapore, and it was brilliant. It was so good. It was small, it was sticky, the things when you stuck them down stayed stuck. It smelt nice. Not that I condone sniffing glue of any type, but just the incidental aroma whilst gluing was very pleasant. When I went to Sydney last year with my daughter and we visited Muji down there, because of course we do not have a Muji here in Brisbane, I was ecstatic to see that they had a multiple number of glue sticks, and I bought them all. However, that decision has come back to haunt me because they are not the same glue stick as the original one that I had purchased, but I am getting through them. I'm using them up and they are not going to waste, but they're a little bit frustrating. Spread number 1 I have for you today is week 11, and I decided I would go for a vintage coffee theme. So it sounds better than old coffee. That makes me think of stale coffee. Now the other thing is, in one of my videos last week, I did a little tutorial in these fold up origami rubbish bins that I was trying to share with Ali over at Dabbling in Journals, because I had the suggestion that it would be a handy thing to have in a portable journaling kit. It's certainly something that I was absolutely kicking myself for not using when I went on my little New Zealand holiday. And it's really, really handy. Now the funny thing is, I haven't actually put them away. I made a couple in a video. Here is one I prepared earlier, and one that I made on the spot to share. And I will link a linky link, you know the deal, to that video up in the top right hand corner. But because I have been lazy and I haven't put them away and they're sitting on my desk, thing is, I'm finding them really, really useful just for journaling, even at my desk, because I can gather up all the little bits and pieces and at the end just tip the whole lot into my bin. And because I am in the process of enjoying my journaling and creating and sticking the stickers and cutting the things and arranging the things, I don't just flick it off to the side and hope it hits the bin. I can actually pop it in that little container. So my bin strike rate has improved by many percentages, I will say. So my children empty our rubbish bins. That's one of their jobs around the house. And so my daughter even noticed that I had been better about getting all the scraps in the bin, not around the bin. It's great when your children tell you off for things. Okay, so my inspiration for this page really started around that piece of paper with, it looks like a dictionary page, but it's not. It's blank on the back. So it's like a reproduction or a printout on this craft paper. So that was my inspiration. And I'm trying to be a bit clever and get as much collage space out of these pages as I can. So initially I tried folding, just sort of creasing the paper to mark where I wanted to do the tears, so then I could place it in between the writing on the page. Because I like keeping a record of, even though the week has been and gone, and this is not my memory keeping a journal, this just records the every day-to-day, bits of life that we all have. And it's interesting to go back and look at what meals we had, if I'm trying to think of a bit of inspiration, or when we had that appointment, or you know the deal, when that happened, when was that, and so on. And I do, it's surprisingly, it surprises me how often I do go back and refer to things that I'm trying to remember when they occurred specifically. So I don't really want to cover up too much of the writing at all. I don't really mind if I cover up bits and pieces that say, like ironing or wash clothes. That's okay, because those things, we know they have to happen anyway, right? So the other component I wanted to put on the vintage coffee pages is this pet tape that I purchased from a local Brisbane journaling supplies store. They have an online presence. They don't have a shop front, and they are called Mic Moc Shop. And Cat designs, really lovely vintage and retro inspired items. They have a range of rubber stamps, wax seals, pet tape, stickers, paper ephemera, all those good things. I'm just having a bit of problem here for some reason. The backing, I'm doing a Mr. Bean and I can't seem to divest myself of that bit of plastic. But she produced a pet tape, and I think it was last year. Let's go with last year. Which has these, what would you call them, like embroidery roses, or are they grub roses? That rings a bell vaguely in the back of my mind. And I think what she has done is scanned the actual images of real ones, because they have this very three-dimensional look about them. And so I thought that would be fun to put on the pages as well. Now, this roll of washi labels, I have two of them. I have one in a blue and red colorway and one in a green and brown colorway. And I have had them for such a long time. I saw them over firstly at the Paper Letter blog, which is Vivian's YouTube channel, and I really liked them. I thought, what a fun thing. So I followed her link and bought some on AliExpress, but I can't find them anymore. They don't seem to make them. So I'm sorry if you've seen them and gone, "Ooh, I like those." There might be something similar around, but unfortunately, they are no longer, which is such a shame. I have been updating my little Etsy store and pumping out sticker sheets and so forth, but I had a couple of accidents, so I salvaged the stickers that I could and I put it on some of that silicone sticker release paper, so I could use some for packaging my orders and also in my journal. And I thought it was quite fun because the magpies do like to come, and if you're sitting outside or at a picnic or having a cup of coffee or something, they do come and stand in front of you and just look at you. And yeah, it can be quite intense sometimes. they're not in the aggressive part of the year at the moment, so they're just in the inquisitive part of the year. When it's nesting season, you have to be quite cautious around them because they can swoop, and some of them are a little bit more aggressive than others and will go for eyes and ears. Yeah, so much so that we have some warning signs up around the place that the council puts. So you're kind of advised, you pop up an umbrella or just, take a different route or, something like that. But they are beautiful birds. They just have this unfortunate tendency to get very territorial around nesting season. I have been guilty of saving these rub-on stickers. I purchased these. I've got some for myself and I got some for Ali over at Dabbling in Journals because of course they are coffee rings, and you need to have coffee rings if you're doing a coffee spread, I feel. So it was a good opportunity for me to get them out and use them. I had this little cloud, like splodge, like ink splodgy part of this rub-on sticker, and I'm going to say something a bit risque here, so cover your ears if you're shocked. But one of the spots I was thinking about putting it was above that coffee machine there, and then I realised it looked like it might be a toxic cloud emanating from the ladies behind, and I thought that would not look very nice on my pages. I hope you're not too shocked by that. Oh dear. And then I remembered I had some of my Lin Chianing Inky Splotches as well, and I had that sort of big blank spot in the middle. And not that I'm trying to fill up every inch of the page, but there's just a bit of balance between trying to fill it up and tell a bit of a story around your spread, but also letting the writing remain legible and allowing the white space to contrast between the elements that you put on there as well. So this is spread 1 complete. What do you think? Do you like it? At the end, I'm going to ask you which one you prefer better. Vintage coffee, let's have a look at it, with this really random quote: "The smell of coffee in the air in the room, so I miss the lost love." Oh, the poignancy, the emotion. But what does it mean? If you know what it means, can you tell me that, please? Because, I'm a bit lost. But I do like the smell of coffee. So, on to week 12, spread number 2. And having done the other spread where I deployed some rub-on inky splodges and coffee stains, I had been watching... Who had I been watching? I think I may have been watching Susie from Susie's Craftery. I love listening to her because, of course, she is Dutch, and so she reminds me of my family in the Netherlands, and so I enjoy watching her channel. But I think I had seen her doing some inky splodges, and I thought I got this new ink from a Ferris Wheel Press, so I better do a spruik for that. New ink from Ferris Wheel Press. This is Blue Yosemite Falls, and it will be released on the 7th of April. Don't miss out. Reserve yours today. I don't know if you can do that. You're probably just best going on the website on the 7th of April if you want some, but it really is a very nice ink, and I know that they have said that it's reminiscent of the big blue skies and the waters, the blue waterfalls for me, it screams tropical waters, like the waters off the coast here in Brisbane, the lakes and waters on Fraser Island or Kagari. I expect to see tropical fish swimming through it. That's the blue that I have. And look, that just might be, I'm a product of where I live, but that's what this ink and this blue says to me. So this week, on the 21st, was my youngest child's birthday, and he turned 12. Oh, he's not my baby anymore. He still is. But he's taller than me now, which quite frankly is not hard because I am 5'1" on a good day when my posture's excellent. So yeah, it's not hard to beat that. And his feet are far larger than mine for quite some time. Supposedly he is predicted to grow to 6'4", which that just blows my mind. I've got a couple of friends, like in fact, one of my brother-in-law, he's 6'2", and he seems so tall. And I have another friend, and he's 6'3", and he just towers, and I just can't imagine my little boy being up there, but it happens. I guess it happens. I'm seeing the big canoe shoes that are surely going to provide a very sturdy platform for a lot of extra height down the track. But one thing is for sure, that the Dutch genes that have skipped a generation here are manifesting themselves in him very, very strongly. And yes, so look, and I whipped out my other little bin there, and it's just super handy, and I'm loving it. And I'm like, oh, it's not just for travel, it's for home too. So because it was his birthday, and I asked him what his favorite color is, because it does change. For a long time it was green, and then it was red, and now it's blue, and I'm sure it will change again. That's what happens. And so I asked him, and he said blue, and so I decided I would do a blue spread and try to do these Inky Splotches. So because I was rambling on, I didn't actually say what I was doing, but I think I saw Susie getting a piece of plastic, or like a sandwich bag, or a bit of packaging, or some sort of clear plastic, and kind of smudging or moving, pushing the ink around, and then dabbing it on the page. Now, I think her ink smudges or splodges, or proper artistic name for them is, look far more elegant and neatly, more artistically formed than mine. But I really like it. It's quite a bit of a different look. I'm struggling a little bit that it looks a bit messy, but it's okay. It's all about artistic experimentation. Now, this is another tape that I've had in my collection for a little while. It's called Soda. I think the brand is Soda, and it was kind of funny because this came out and I got all excited because I'm like, oh, it's clear washi tape, and then I thought, oh no, it's probably like pet tape. But it's not. It's really just sticky tape with a pattern kind of sandwiched on the top. So it's like a layer of sticky tape with a layer of plastic film that's sort of printed on the top, so you can't rip it. It's a little bit shiny, and yeah, it's okay. I don't mind it. Would I buy it again? No, I wouldn't. It just seems a bit more suitable for wrapping presents. Yeah, so just a little bit disappointed in it. But yeah, but that's just me. That's just my opinion. And yeah, because I do like having more of kind of rough edges and torn edges, and you can't do that with this. And it's not like you're going to cut around, because it's not like a pet tape which has a design, like individual design elements on it that you cut around and use in lieu of stickers. It's just a tape, so it's like a pattern sticky tape. I am coming in. I've bought my little collection of sticker sheets in my sticker book that I tidied up, and so I'm just popping in some special birthday stickers there to commemorate my son's birthday. He asked for a carrot cake. He loves carrot cake, and he can only really have it if I make it, because most carrot cakes available, of course, have nuts in it, so walnuts or hazelnuts, and he has a nut allergy, and so I make it and I put in some toasted seeds. Yes, I feed my birds and my children seed. So I toast up some pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds and put them in the cake, so it gives that nutty, crunchy element that's enjoyable in a carrot cake, but without the dangerous side effects, which is always a good thing. Yes, and we like it with a cream cheese icing. So yeah, and I always tamper with recipes. I don't know about you, but when I cook and I'm doing something like a cake, and you put in so much flour and you do 2 eggs and so forth, and then also melted butter, and I'm like, melted butter, I can't be bothered to melt butter, so I'll get out rice bran oil or olive oil and I'll use that instead. And then it'll be like, and 400 grams of sugar. And I'll think, oh my Lord, that's almost half a kilo of sugar. I'm not putting in half a kilo of sugar. That seems excessively sweet. And so I'll halve that. So I'll put in like 200 grams of sugar. So it frustrates my friends no end, because if I have fed them something that I have made and they have enjoyed it, and then they say, okay, I really like the recipe, but can you give me the recipe with how you made it? And yeah, so sometimes it's quite funny because I don't realize how much I've tampered with it until I'm forced to write down the changes that I've made, and then it's kind of verging on being a bit of a different recipe than what was maybe the initial inspiration. Yeah, but I think lots of people do it, I'm sure. And I have had some kitchen disasters. Absolutely. But it's all it's experimenting. What works, what doesn't work. I've only ever made, I think, in recent memory, I've only made one thing that was actually inedible, that we all sat around the dinner table and just looked at each other and went, toasties? And it was a mushroom soup. Like, it was meant to be a cream of mushroom soup. And oh my goodness, it was bad. Anyway, here is my next spread. Let's call that Inky Blue Splodges. Let's call it that. Let me know in the comments below which is your preferred spread, which elements you like the best, and what recipes that you have tampered with lately. Take care. See you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.